All right, boys, today's shipment day. So we have back to school coming up. So we put in a bunch of orders through a bunch of our suppliers. And I think the last unboxing we did was with all the Godspeed stuff. So none of this is clothing. This is gonna be our sneaker restock, but we have a ton of clothing coming in. I'm super hyped for it. We've been focusing so much on it. This is actually the first time we're carrying these. This is the first time, I mean, I've seen them in stores before, but for us, carrying Sambas, it's just I feel like it's similar, I don't know, just the basic Dunk or kind of Asics right now. And Sambas they're popping right now. I know I grabbed a few colors, so that one's just the black one. Yeah, these ones are black, and then this is that basic white one as well. I feel like this is the one that I see most people wearing, I feel like. This is another box of Sambas. These ones are actually fire. These ones are sporty and rich, so we had to pay more for these. The other ones we got at a good wholesale rate. They were a little under 100, but these ones we had to pay over 100. These ones are fire. It has the sporty and rich accent on it as well. I don't know, when we were testing them out, we were going back and forth debating on if we want Sambas in store. We thought back to school is the perfect time for it because sales are up anyways. And so when we were looking at the different styles and what to stock and bring in, yeah, this is a box full of just those sporty and rich ones. We had a shipment come into these the other day as well, so this was a restock on them. When we were thinking about what to stock in terms of Sambas, we went with the classics, but then we wanted one that stand out. I think Bad Bunny has a bunch of Sambas. He has Gazelles or one of those kind of more poppin' Adidas models. So we're just kind of testing them out, and hopefully it performs just so we can keep bringing them in. It adds another brand. The only Adidas brand we really sold was Yeezy, so bringing in these are fire. Oh, there's a nice one. A bunch of off-white Dunks. This is a random pack of them, but we needed these. We just, over the weekend in our Providence location, we had a buyer come by and he picked up 3 size 8.5s, all different color lots. So this is big. I need to give some of them some off-white Dunks just because they're selling them over there. That one was lot 3. It's crazy. These are still going strong. Everyone still wants these, even though they came out a while ago now. I feel like it was 2 years almost. That was lot 10. That one's nice too. This one's size 7.5. This is perfect for girls. This one specifically, I feel like they just go for way more. It's just the colors. Some of the colors are questionable on the Dunks, but they're fire because you make it work with so many different outfits and everything. But that one's so nice, especially in a girl size. This is also a size 5. This is a girl size as well. What the? This is also a base size. This is size 5. This one's 5. This one's heat. Lot 50. This seller, he was trying to sell this to me for 2 months, and I feel like I should have taken it before, but I waited until back to school. It's definitely going to be a little harder sell just because it is size 5 and they're $1,000. But I decided after the stores were kind of selling these a lot recently, I decided, let me just grab it now. It's probably the best time for it. And then also Asics. We have these coming in now, they're actually pandas. These things sell so well, specifically the Clay Canyons. This is one of our top sellers for sure. I would assume these are all Clay Canyons. Oh no, these ones are actually different. These ones are fire too. These ones we have in bigger sizes. For some reason, it's harder for us to get sizes 10.5 and up in 1130s. Usually we can find all the lower ones. So, and this one's kind of fire. It's it's a tan. Asics are such a must-have. And for store owners too, the margin's a little bit nicer because they're a lot cheaper. So we're able to make a little bit more on them versus getting in a more expensive product. Even though we sell the more expensive product for a lot more money, sometimes the margin isn't always there. So that one's good for hitting margin. This box is just full of Dunks. Harvest Moons, we haven't seen these in so long. Those used to go for money back in the day. When we first opened our store. Nice, this is fire, a whole box of them. Oh, and medium olives, these are classics. Any of those two-tone Dunks, they do so well. And then similar the Asics, they hit margin really nice. Moons and medium olive Dunks, and there's Jordan 4s. No, Midnight Navies in a grade school size. Midnight Navies are good. We haven't had these ones in a while either. Usually it's we're getting in either the breads that just dropped or the military blues, but getting in something like the Midnight Navies is fire. Just a little restock. It keeps that variety there. And then red cement as well. Just must-haves in store. It's always something people are looking for, and they're not overly expensive, like a military black that just goes for bread. All right, nice, a box of Yeezys. I know I have a shipment coming in of 350s. Carbon Beluga. These are ones that you can like always find in bulk. Like Carbon Belugas or like the dark salts. You can find them in bulk like in a ton of places right now. But I do have an order coming in that I placed. It's not bulk of like any one style, but I found a seller with a bunch of variety, which is clutch because in our Braintree location, we don't really have that many 350s anymore. And so I needed to get a restock. And so that one came in clutch. It's gonna be a bunch of different styles going there. Yeezy slides, one of the best sellers of the summer, like every single year. Dark onyx, slate gray. All of these colors are great. And I just placed an order for bone slides too, getting like the light color. He makes so many like dark onyx, slate gray, slate marine. They all look so similar. So getting the bone back in stock is gonna be nice just so we can have like a lighter color. But for those ones, like we're able to buy in like relatively cheaper in like the lower like 100 range, like 100 to like 110 depending on the size. But for something like the bone, just because he only has like bone and pure as his lighter colors, and he hasn't really restocked those ones, we have to be paying a lot higher. We're paying closer to like 200 for those ones. These ones sell really well for us, which is why we keep those in like back stock, just because the price point, we're able to sell these for cheaper than we can buy the bone slides for. See another box of Dunks. Dunks are such a staple when it comes to back to school. I didn't get too many of these ones in the kid sizing, but it's just like once we run out of them, I always just try and keep a size one in stock. Pandas, these things are still selling so well. And Pandas, the prices just keep going down on them too, so we're able to sell them like closer and closer to retail every time we get them. And then we also have some Asics underneath. Oh, these are fire. This is the first time seeing these. 2160s. These are the Shamrocks. Yeah, these ones are tough. Those will do well for sure. Especially in Boston, the green always does well. These are Polar Blues. Just the basic colors, the two-tone Dunk colors. Just more Dunks and Asics. We went for volume when we were buying it because there's so many people that are walking in just because of back to school. We just try to have as many as we can, and the buy-ins on the Asics and Dunks are so much cheaper than going after like 4s or some other like more expensive styles. This is also, these sell just as good as the Clay Canyons and like same price point. They're super cheap. We're able to sell them for like $175, and it's just like, that's like the perfect back to school shoe. And the runner style is like so popping right now. We've gotten asked about like Vomeros and like Nike style runners, but we stayed away from those. These are nice. They've always like done well for us. It's just like a little like spin off from UNC. Two tones also. The seller just had so many different Dunks, so I just tried to stock up on all of them. And we also have like a similar size shipment that went to our Braintree store. A lot of them are similar shoes over there, but we'll be able to hit that mall as well, just to go through like the whole shipment that got dropped, because I actually think like that one was a little bit bigger. But we're always trying to think about like, you know, what shoes can we keep in stock, or what shoes do we want to try out. Like the Asics at one point, obviously we made the decision to like try them out, and then we haven't sold any like Sambas yet, so that's going to be interesting to see how like those do. We looked at other shoes too, like MMY, and for the MMYs, like Keenan was interviewing someone like last week, and he came in them, and it was just like a perfect like proof to point. Like we should probably have those in stock. These are nice, just like a Jordan 11 low. We used to be like a lot bigger in retros, I feel like, or just the market in general, and then it's like shifted heavily into like the runners or Dunks. But getting these in, it's still, we're not gonna get like cases of these. I'd rather get cases of like the Dunks or the Asics, something that's like a little bit cheaper buy-in, and you know, we can carry a little bit more variety in, just because getting these are gonna be more expensive. Even though these aren't actually like that much money, they're still more than like the Dunks and Asics. Like these, it's still like a $200 shoe. So we try and diversify it a little bit more. Military blues, another like Jordan 4, like we just keep them in stock, just make sure we're back stocked in them. It's just like such a staple right now, and it's one of our better sellers, so have to keep that there. All right, this is the last box in Natick, but when we go to the Braintree store at South Shore, we'll be able to go through everything. I'm not gonna like open up, I'm not gonna like show everything that we just did, but there are some like differences in there, so make sure to like spot those. More midnight navies. This one has like a little bit of retros inside. This is a Photon Craft. So Jordan 4s, like these are cheaper ones, so we're able to price them good, and just variety in Jordan 4s. The Jordan 1 model, low-key, has like died out a little bit, but something like this, like a patent bread color, we only got one, but it's like, it'll still sell super well. It's these, like, this color isn't one that's gotten like washed out or like goes for under retail. So it's always nice to have like that in stock. And then same thing with this, the Spider-Man. I was actually offered these in grade school and I was too late to get them. Someone else took them, but I wanted these in grade school so bad because it's like this is like a perfect back to school shoe for a kid too. But those are fire. Like those are the types of ones that when we get offered them, we'll still take them. But it's more of like the recent releases that don't really go for anything that we always just end up passing on. But these are so tough. Michigan State's. I think I paid like $300 for my pair like a year and a half ago, which hurts so bad because these things go for like $100 now. But like such a staple color, and these will sell so fast. I took all the men's sizes he had, which I don't even think was that many, unfortunately. And then last one, Foam Runner. Foams, this isn't the best color, but foams have been doing really well. I need Onyx foams, so that's the type of stuff that we'll grab in like bulk, just because when we're able to get it in bulk, we can get it like a little bit cheaper. And when you're dealing in like, when you're trying to flip like like larger quantities of shoes, even getting them $1, $2 cheaper, it adds up over time. So that's something that we focus on in bulk instead of paying like the high for like a few pairs. But this one was definitely a good price just because when we take so much stuff, like obviously there's some like heaters in here that we're going to be able to sell or like make a lot more money on. But when you are dealing in like this quantity, sometimes you have to take some for like a little bit less. Like I know I got a good deal on the off-whites just because I was taking a lot of these like bricks or that, shoes that don't really go for that much money. Clothing as well, there's a lot of like dope pieces of brands that we're starting to intro, so I'm super stoked just like show all that stuff. But we'll also head over to South Shore as well and open up those boxes. Those arrived today. That order, I think I ordered more to that store, so there are going to be like a lot more like variety or even just like depth in a lot of these like shoes. All right, so we're in South Shore now. When we were in Natick, I was saying how like a similar size shipment just landed here, and so here's all the boxes. We have a bunch. They're all stacked up, so we can go through them all. Some of the stuff's same product, but some's different. Like there were some opportunities for me to grab some older 11s, like Jubilees and stuff, and like anytime that I'm able to source like these types of retros. I think I said when I was in Natick, like we don't buy like so many retros in like big bulk. We buy them to stock them, but not like having so much back stock. But here in South Shore, we buy like a lot of retros. This is something that we wouldn't necessarily get in Natick, but this is just like the demographic here. So we grab, these styles, and it's also like this one specifically, I think it's like a little bit cheaper. I think we're able to price it around like $250-ish, so it's similar price to retail. Cacao Wow's 11.5 women's, a men's size in these. That's huge. I never see these in men's sizing. Usually when I get like bulk lists, I feel like most of the times it's like 5.5 women's up to like 9, sometimes like 10 women's. But so getting one like that, 11.5 is huge. And then there's a bunch of 4s in here as well, just like Reds and military blues. With back to school season too, we're able to, just because there's so many people walking in, we're able to grab shoes that we wouldn't normally purchase. So like ones like these ones. If it was a month in like the middle of the year that like, doesn't necessarily have like high traffic, I'd probably stay away from these, especially just because like ones in general are kind of like going down. But since it is like back to school, we have a little bit more leeway with like what we're grabbing just because there's more opportunity for this stuff to sell with all the people walking in. Oh, this one's nice too. UNC 4. It says 4 though, but it's the only one he had. I haven't seen these in a while, and this one was like relatively cheaper too. So grab that. It's like an older release. Vintage greens too. This used to be like a $350 to $400 shoe, just like the Michigan State's. This has 11.5 women's. It's like unheard of 2 years ago, and now they go for like $100. They're so cheap. When these big shipments come in, managers of the stores get so hyped because there's so much new product. Supreme Air Forces. I was just looking at these yesterday because I was thinking about like restocking just a few more of them and like more sizing. And the black Air Forces now go for over 200. It's so crazy. We sell these at like 200. A bunch of Dunks, USCs. This one's fire too. This used to be like, if you didn't want to get the St. John, if you didn't want to pay like $300 for the St. John, you grab this one. And now they all go for like the same price. That one's still fire. We got to get out to Southern Cali. UNC is just all classic Dunks now. So important for back to school. Medium olives. There's a bunch of different styles in here. That brown Dunk again. There used to be an SB for these. It was like the Trail SB. They actually go for like 3 bands. And now to see something like this come out and it's like $100, that's like almost the exact same thing. It's not an SB, but like pretty much the exact same thing. Is so crazy. Bread 4s. This is a staple in here. This is always one of our best sellers for the past few months now. It's been up there. All right, in Braintree again. Stock up on retros. I think these actually like just came out. This is something that'll sell here and super cheap. I think we're gonna have this at $225, which I think is retail. This one I actually think is tough. This Lucky Green. If this came out in like 2017, this would be like a $500 Jordan. And again, in Boston too. You know how many people I see wear these like the C's game? Let's see, box full of Yeezys again. Same thing like Natick. We have to load up on these. They just sell so well. These ones are sleeker, eh? And there's also, I saw Dark Onyx in there. Keeping slides in stock is such a must. They just sell like so fast. Foams too. Dusty Olives, so these ones are actually tough. I don't think Natick got any of these. I love like the all suede dunks. Like these are like masquerades and stuff. That one's fire. When we go through all this, Harvest Moons again. These are all kid sizing. University Blues. And finally, Asics. These have been so hot for us right now. Neptune Asics. Clay Canyons too. These have actually just been like doing so well. So we've been starting to stock up on like a bunch of colors similar like the Dunks. If you guys haven't watched any of our previous like buyouts at events too, make sure you check those out because we get like these are like a lot of like bulk shipments, so you maybe see like a lot more like GRs or you know a bunch of different variety. But when we go to the events too, that's where we grab like more of like the Travises or more of that like heat stuff. So you get to see like the live negotiations as well. And we are going to LA Got Sold September 7th. And mids also. Their mids were getting low here, so I had to restock them. Anthracite grays. These ones are tough. This is definitely one of our like better selling mids, just because of that gray color. It just goes with everything, so it's super easy to like throw on with like the fit, especially now that we have a lot more clothing out there as well. And same thing like the lows. We got some of these in Natick. I don't know if I opened them in the video though. They're in like the bottom of the box. But just keeping the variety in stock when it comes to back to school, it's probably not something we'd grab other than like this time of year. All right, last box here. You see the 11s. We got these in Natick too. Like retros. Retros just move really well here. So stocked up on those ones. And then also one highs. Again, something we probably wouldn't normally grab. Natick got the patent and I think it was the Spider-Man, so they got the better ones. But these ones, these are like bricks. These don't really go for anything. But it's just, again, it's style on shelf and it's like super cheap. So the patents and the Spider-Mans, we're gonna have to have those a lot higher than we're gonna be able to sell these ones for. And more mids too. The mid wall was low. These ones are actually kind of nice. It's like a grayish blue. Those are fire. Ice blue as well. This one used to sell so well a couple years ago. All right, boys, that wraps up our unboxing video. Right now we're in our Rockingham location. We have been filming some behind the scenes content, so we do have another video coming that'll include some of those clips. We put a lot into making the stores look like Courtside and like our brand.